Hello, I'm Chad. I run at 50 Shades Casting. I wanted to offer my reaction and thoughts on the trailer that just debuted. Many have harpooned me for being way too negative of the filming and of the cast, and I still have several opinions about that. But they are my honest opinions, and that's all I've ever claimed to offer on my blog. So, while I'm sure I will still continue to be harpooned for being too negative, there are a lot of things to like about the trailer, but at the same time, there are also things I'm not necessarily concerned about, but I do have pauses. And so while this will not be a total hearts and flowers rosy review that everyone's going crazy for on Twitter, it'll also not be a condemnation of this movie being the worst film ever made. So there are many things to like, and the biggest thing or surprise for me was Jamie Dornan. Some of the things I was worried about was him being able to pull off the American accent, which he does very well. He also looks like he's put on a little bit of muscle for the role, which I appreciate very much. And knowing the fact that he sounds so good and his physical appearance was never a problem. So the thing I worried about with him was his voice, and that was put to bed. My other concern with Jamie Dornan, which we'll have to wait until I actually see the finished movie, will be his performance. One of my biggest fears was he may have come off one-dimensional, kind of like what I would have expected Ian Somerhalder to be, just a one-dimensional Christian. Based on what I heard from his voice and the snippets from the trailer, I don't think that's going to be the case. So I think Jamie Dornan will be a wonderful surprise as Christian. Am I totally sold on him as the character? No, I'm not. And honestly, I'm not. Do I think he's going to be bad or terrible? No, absolutely not. I don't think that. I was the biggest proponent of Garrett Hedlund being cast as Christian, and so I guess in some way I'll always compare or wonder how much better Garrett, who in fact was cast at one point but just did not want to sign the 3-picture deal, which broke my heart because any trailer that was made for Garrett Hedlund being Christian was done by me. I was his biggest proponent, though I'm not vain enough to think I'm the only person who thought Garrett Hedlund could have done Christian. But I did everything I could, and so I was happy with Charlie Hunnam, and I feel better about Jamie Dornan from watching the trailer. The other things to like about this trailer are what Sam Taylor Johnson brings to the movie. Some of these shots look really, really good. My favorite is the Christian playing the piano with Anna walking in. That shot is absolutely gorgeous. And some of the other shots are very interesting. So the movie looks like it is going to be very well shot and done, directed, if you would, by Sam Taylor Johnson. So that's another thing to be very excited about. And the set design, his office looks completely amazing. His apartment looks very, very good. The glider scene, the helicopter, just some of the shots that are just kind of here and there look absolutely amazing. So any doubts, I guess, about how the film would look were kind of put to bed because there are some really good-looking things, good-looking shots in the trailer. So the movie is probably going to look very, very good. And now we have to talk about Dakota. A lot of people have harpooned me for being too hard on her, and again, it's just my opinion. If you actually have followed me for a while, I've stated several times I don't think her acting will be an issue. You can see that in the trailer. her performance as Anna looks perfectly fine, and she acts and reacts as you would expect Anna to do from having read the book. So it kind of confirmed all of my suspicions about Dakota. I didn't think her performance was going to be an issue after watching the trailer. I still don't think it's going to be an issue. The thing I still have an issue with about Dakota is the physical. She still doesn't do anything for me as Anna. And as a movie fan and someone who still intends to buy a ticket to go see the movie, not being able to fully buy into her as Anna is going to detract from my immersion into the movie. And of course, my first choice was Amanda Seyfried. And she looks obviously nothing like Amanda. She's built nothing like Amanda. And I thought Amanda was as close to the physical description of Anna from the book. But again, that was my opinion. And I even had a picture collage made and tweeted about how so many people can read the exact same thing, yet picture it so differently. So everyone knows that 50 Shades of Grey was started as Twilight fan fiction, so what ultimately happened is they cast someone who basically was Bella Swan. And she looks, if you put the two side by sides, it's hard not to notice the similarities of the two. And some people are going to be extremely happy with that. Some people are extremely happy with Dakota. And if you are, I'm happy for you. But again, as a man, and the book was written by a woman from a woman's point of view, and obviously made famous by being, quote, mommy porn, so obviously it appealed to many women. As a man who enjoys literature and good stories, I was able to enjoy the story, but I also just naturally look at it from Christian's point of view. And I have absolutely no sexual desire towards Dakota. So again, that takes my immersion from watching the movie. I'm not going to be able to fully enjoy and fully get that experience because of that. Again, I think her performance is going to be very good and be, faithful to what Anna was in the book. But for my own watching and own point of view, that's going to be a little bit of a detractor. And I could talk about Rita Ora, and even though she was only in it for half a second, I did see the screenshot. The wig looks terrible. I don't think anything is going to make me come around about her. And if you want to kill me for that, go right ahead. But that's my opinion, and I'm entitled to it. And I can't really talk about anyone else because we didn't really see a whole lot. So again, not total hearts and flowers because I don't love everything. I don't think everything is perfect like many of you do. And if it makes you feel better to be a cheerleader for this movie and think everything is perfect and are going to see the movie and think every single second of the movie is perfect, I am happy for you. Okay, but that's not me. And I look at movies differently because we are different. We're human. We're going to have different reactions to different things. So I'm not going to harpoon anybody for having their own opinion about what they saw because it's just that, your opinion. But again, there are a lot of things to like, but there are still things that I'm concerned about, and there's things I don't particularly care for. And again, that's just what I think. So, for what it's worth, if you're curious about what I thought of the trailer, there you have it. Please feel free to leave comments on my Twitter feed or leave comments in this video. And I've said, I think, everything I could about the trailer, so I'm glad you enjoy it. I don't think this is going to be the worst movie ever made. I'm going to buy a ticket and hopefully be pleasantly surprised with the outcome. So, thank you for your time and enjoy.
So this is just an interview for the newspaper. I just have a couple of questions.
Mr. Gray will see you now.
What was he like? He was polite, intense, smart, really intimidating. Do you have any interests outside of work?
What about you? I'd like to know more about you.
There's really not much to know about me. Look at me.
I am.
To what do you owe your success?
I exercise control in all things, Miss Steele.
It must be really boring.
I'm incapable of leaving you alone.
Then don't.
I had a rough start in life. You should steer clear of me.
Got me hoping you save me right now. Your kiss.
I don't do romance.
Me right now. Looking so great.
My tastes are very singular. You wouldn't understand.
Crazy.